Page 527, 528, 529. You already know from the time code this is going to be a long one. So if at any point along the way you want to skip forward or you want to pause the video and go back, but use this video really as a way for you to show that you understand how educational videos on YouTube, hopefully this feels educational to you, is a way to be used and to help you get better. If you feel like at some point the next 30 seconds or you know what to do, then skip forward, okay? But I will show from start to finish how to answer these three questions. Use proportionality on the coordinate plane. This activity is putting together everything from this lesson and drawing from the other lessons where we've talked about triangle proportionality theorems and other sorts of ratios that we're going to create. Consider, for example, AB on the coordinate plane. Let's divide the directed AB segment into a 1:2 ratio. So keep that in mind, 1:2. And we're going to use algebraic and geometric reasoning. There's a lot that's going to be going on here, okay? So please, sometimes, like Einstein said, you're going to have to watch this and go back through it and restart it until you do understand it completely. Draw AC such that C is at 5, 0. That's 5 to the right and no spaces up from the origin. So we're going to go right here where they've plotted it. And I think I've been using a blue line for vertical, so I'm going to draw that segment. Then draw BC, so BC, to form triangle ABC. The key thing is that I'm trying to force one of my lines to be on the grid. And the other line that doesn't follow the grid because it's got a slant to it is what it is. Then determine the slope of BC. So the way to determine the slope of BC is to count the change in the y and then the change in the x. So if I maybe use a pencil so it's a light line that I don't have to really like focus on, I'm looking at this slope triangle. Delta y, delta x. Make that look like an x. There we go. Better. So I'm going to count up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got delta y over delta x. This is our formula for slope. And it is 10 over 9. I can just kind of confirm that, by the way. B is at a value of 1410. And if I started at 5 and counted up to 14, I would be counting 9 spaces. So if I start at 5, I'm going to count up 9, and I'm going to end at 14. Likewise, B is at a height of 10. If I start at 0 and count up 10, I get to a height of 10. So that's the 10 in the top of the fraction. Plot points on AC to divide the segment into thirds, and then list the coordinates of the points. I'm going to review for a second here because the way that I think they want me to explain it to you is actually like a super complicated method. If I can do it this way. I know that it's going to be broken up, delta x is broken up by 9 spaces. So this delta x is actually how far apart A and B are, in that it's 9. So if I want to divide AC into thirds, I could take delta x and divide it by 3, which means as I count along the grid here from B to A, I can count over 3 spaces and make a mark on the line, and then count over 3 more spaces and make a mark on the line. And now I've broken this AB segment up into thirds. List the coordinates of the points. This looks like it's at 8, comma, maybe like 10 or 11 and a third. I'm going to say 11 and a third. 1/3, sorry for the comma there. And the other one is at 11 and 10 and 2/3. I am using my guess work that it's in thirds because it's a little more than 11 but not quite half, and the other one is a little less than 11 but not quite half, so 10 and 2/3. The whole dividing by 3 is what's making my mind think, whoa, caution, trigger on that one. Determine and draw lines that are parallel to BC and pass through each point you plotted on AC. Then write the equations of the line. Oh, I know what I needed to do. I focused on the wrong letters. It's AC that I need to use. So AC, I'm dividing this whole line segment into thirds. And I notice there's 12 total distances from A to C. So it's actually 12 divided by 3, and that's 4. So then if I count up here, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 at 5, 4. And then count up 4 again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be at 5, 8. And just to make sure it matches 1, 2, 3, 4, goes all the way up. That's the one. This is why they want me to do that. They don't want the 11 1/3. They want to determine and draw lines that are parallel to BC. Parallel lines have the same slope. So hint, parallel lines have the same slope. So I can use the 10/9 slope. From this point, I can count up 10 spaces and go over 9 spaces, and I'll have a line that I can then trace with the straight edge to make it parallel. So from 4, count up 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go over 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is going to go right here. Okay, if I did it through the grid as accurately as I could, that is going to be the first point. Now this next one's going to be a little more challenging. I have to go up 10 spaces, and I have to go over 9 spaces. So I'm going to be somewhere over here, but I guess 8 plus 10 makes 18. So 15, 16, 17, 18. But I'm going to be up here at 15, 16, 17, 18. I'm also going to kind of gauge it. I'm going to guess a little bit here. Oh, up by 4. Not that much. Only up by 4. No, that is 4. Parallel. Parallel is the key thing. So my dots are not quite the way they need to. 1, 2, 3, 4. Parallel was the key word, was the key word, was the key word, was the key word. Okay. Write the equations of the lines and explain your reasoning. Oh, well, here's the thing. We have this formula over here to write the equations of the lines in point slope form. So if I call this line 1, line 2, and line 3, they're all going to be parallel to each other. So line 1 passes through the coordinate 5, 0 and has a slope of 10/9. So this formula here for point slope formula is going to look like, I should use an arrow here, not an equal sign, y minus the y coordinate right here equals the slope m times the quantity x minus the x coordinate right here. So this is my equation for my line 1. Y equals y minus 0 equals 10/9 times x minus 5. Then I go to line 2. So line 2 has the same structure, y minus, but now I need the y coordinate on line 2 at that location that I know. And I know that location is at 5, 4. So this is the line 2 coordinate, this is the line 3 coordinate. So I'm going to take the y coordinate on line 2, and I'm going to go y minus 4. It has the same slope. So they all have a slope of 10/9, and then they have x minus 5 as their final answer, like x minus the x coordinate. Therefore, line 3, the last coordinate is y minus 8, because that's the y coordinates, equals 10/9 times x minus 5. All of this is just because we drew a vertical line. Pretty nice. Okay. Yep, and yep. Cool. They're parallel, so therefore parallel lines have the same slope. Parallel lines have the same slope. There it is. Okay. I am actually going to partition this video into the 3 videos. I thought I could do it all in once, but that was a lot of explanation. You are going to need to make sure you watch the next ones, or that you've already watched that in order to answer these. This will be a lot. Pause, rewind, come back. This is a key concept, the formula for the equation of a line. Page 528 is next. See you in the next episode.